And we are now live, and we have our participants coming in. So if you select our attendees, see all these attendees coming in. Awesome. Hi, everybody. Nice to see you. Hello, hello. All right. Can you see all the attendees coming in?
Oh, Charles? Yeah. Just see somebody coming in from my last class. What's up, Liz?
All right. David Barlow, hello. David Hamilton, our favorite. Hello, David. Okay. This is awesome. We have a really, really awesome crowd because this is a really, really good topic. I'm really excited to hear this conversation tonight. Amazing. All right. We're going to hold about 1 more minute tops as all these folks come in. Hi, Maggie Edwards. All right. Hi, Patty. All right. Oh, who's chatting with us?
Oh, wow. From Normal. Okay. Oak Park. Anybody? Oh, from Bloomington. I love Zoom.
Mariana, I love Zoom, y'all. Bloomington.
Wow.
Yeah. Berwyn. Hi. Oh, there's Wendy Clarendon.
Oh, hey, Wendy.
You know Wendy.
Roar, Connecticut, Indiana. Come on, y'all. Y'all better come through.
That's what's up, man.
I'm excited. Oh, Vincent Banks. Hello. Nice to see you. All right.
Man. Samantha, hey. It's so great to see so many past students and also a whole bunch of folks that are just logging in. I'm excited for everybody to be here.
Yeah, that's dope.
This is cool.
This is humbling.
That's fun. Whoever started telling us where you're from is really smart. I don't think we've had that before. It's so awesome to see where everybody's coming from. We love it. And with all of our classes being online now, we have had we had somebody from Greece take our beginning voiceover class. We had somebody from Ireland take class with us. Wow. And we've had people from New York, LA, and all over the States. So that's really, that is one of the silver linings of this situation, that we are connecting with people from
you're reaching
further
reach now. Yeah,
exactly. All right. All right, cool. All right, well, I'm going to get started then. Welcome, everybody. I'm Rachel Patterson. I am the Director of Acting Studios Chicago. Again, I am really pleased that all of you have taken the time to join us. We really appreciate that. This is the 17th.
Wow. Acting
Studios Chicago webinar that we have done since, I think, April 1st-ish. So we are really proud of that. And if you go to our website, you can find there's a page that has the recordings of all of our past webinars. And there's a lot of great information there. So I encourage you to do that. I can say that we start our fall session 2 weeks from today. So if you have any questions about training or that, you can feel free to email me and I'll be happy to respond. When you get the reminder, when you get the follow-up email from Zoom, my email will be right there. And so if you have any questions for me, feel free to shout out. I am very, very pleased that we have a new host tonight, and this is the wonderful Charles Andrew Gardner, that many of you know. Charles is an actor, a filmmaker, an educator, and he is also the president of SAG-AFTRA Chicago. Joining Charles is Jerod Haynes, one of my favorite actors, and I'm so pleased that you are able to join us and share your story. I think people really can learn and be inspired by your path. Everybody's path is rocky and has obstacles, and maybe it doesn't always seem like an easy path when we're the ones on it, but I really, truly think you have done a remarkable job carving out your career, and I just can't wait to hear this conversation. So thank you both, and I'm gonna turn this over to you, Charles.
Thank you, Rachel.
I appreciate you. Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you. And you're on.
All right. Thank you, thank you. So, I mean, hey everybody, good to see so many familiar names and see some folks drop into the chat. Like Rachel said, I'm here with Jerod Haynes, Chicago native actor. You know, got some of his training from the acting studio, which is super exciting, right? So we'll talk all about that. Did your thing in the theater scene in Chicago. Did your thing with the Chicago TV shows. You've done, you know, a bunch of TV, a bunch of film. You've produced, you've directed, you've written, just about everything.
Yeah.
And then one of the things that I always love whenever, like, you know, when you were still in Chicago doing theater and like I go check you out and you're like, proud father of Jalea. You know, you dedicated to her. I love it, man. So you're a father, you know, and proud of it. And that's a part of it. One of the ways that I start my classes at the beginning, and some of my students will attest to this, I come in and I'm like, yo, this is who I am. I like to do yoga. I like to garden. I like to, you know, I just got married, you know, all of this. And they're like, what? And I'm like, but that's who I am.
Yes.
And that's all I got. Mm-hmm. And I want to spend this hour talking to you about what you got and how you bring it to every single thing that you do. Yeah. Of course, we want to talk about some of your projects, get into that, talk about some of where we are, you know, in the world. But mainly, man, I want to spend a lot of time just talking about authenticity, because I think that you do an amazing job of just being just real and raw, but most importantly of being precise, right? Because your training shows every single time I see you perform. So I want to jump off before we get into any of that. I just want to check in. How you been? I haven't had a chance to talk to you in some time. What's been up? What's been good?
In a minute, man. First, just thank you all those words you just said. It's kind of humbling. Not kind of, it is humbling, and it's sometimes when you're in it, you don't even know, because you just, you know, forget day to day. You just moment to moment, really. But thank you, man, for the words first off, and congratulations to you and everything you're doing, and your consistency. Watching your growth inspires me as well. So, and mentally, right now, I mean, I sage now.
Nope. Get out.
Listen, man, I've seen a lot, and then the way the world is right now, everything has to be intentional. You can no longer afford to just go with the flow. You got to be even. Like, if you thought you were intentional, you got to double down now, because the world is so unstable right now, and you can feel it if you have a pulse. And so for me, man, prayer, I'm reading more time with my daughter, just my family, some close friends, journaling a lot now.
Now, do you feel that that's been like a post-pandemic shift, or were you already like making that shift before?
It was happening, but things sped up once the pandemic hit. I would do it, but not as often as I'm doing it now, since work has been, in a sense, the outward work has been halted. So I've been doing more internal. I've had more time to do just double down on the internal work, and a lot of shit. I mean, a lot of things have come up, man, you know, to be honest. So I think it's necessary, and I'm thankful to God that I'm able to take advantage of it. Some days better than others. So yeah. So
I think that's all a part of the you know, the journey of an artist, though.
Yeah, 100%. I think so, Charles. I think you hit it on the head. I think you really grow. Like, I don't think you can grow on the craft if you don't grow. Like, I think your perspective and your relationship to the world becomes more clear, and I think that'll help the work and things like that. Yeah.
Look, I gotta be a cheesy host, man. I'm all about the dramaturgy in my acting world, so I gotta bring the dramaturgy here. In a quote, you said about acting. This was a couple of years ago, so I just want you to I want to hear some of your thoughts about it. You're like, oh, what you about to bring out? I've learned. What you about to bring up? Look, I've learned acting is just trying to be honest, being in the moment, and being truthful to who you are.
Yeah, it's funny. I said that years ago, and I'm still searching. And I think, hopefully, Charles, that we, even being around you, like I said, seeing your growth, just as a man, I know you're a hell of an artist because just seeing you as a man, you know what I mean? Like your growth there, and I think once you accept the every part of you, not just the good, but those parts that you struggle with, or what other people try to deem as bad, you have to accept it. And then I think once you accept it, you can do the work. And then I think the work is, hopefully when we are working, we can use it to tell the truth. Because I think it may help others, because we're servers, I think it may help others who are going through something in their lives over the hurdle. So I think it's our job to try our best to be honest in any way possible. I mean, it's the only profession you can be honest though, Charles, and not be deemed crazy. Like you can show your truth and they give you awards for it.
and then you in the real world and people like,
You got to censor that. You got to censor that, and I think.
How do you do that?
I think it's no different from, again, I think what I love about what we do, Charles, is that I know people say acting shouldn't be therapy, but I disagree. If you're doing it right, it's therapeutic, because acting, you can use it. Acting, and you can use it to heal. Because I think I've learned more about myself in this profession than anything else. Mm-hmm. This profession, these characters, or whoever I try to inhabit, I've learned good and bad about myself. And I think that when you know that your job is to do that, it's easier to censor, because outside of work, you should spend time observing yourself and your relationship to the world, and others and their relationships to the world. And if things bother you, really, take time to analyze that, things like that. It's more of research every day, with or without the work, on yourself. Yeah.
I love that you call it that, like just research on yourself.
Yeah, because it's hard knowing yourself. But I think I heard this somewhere before, man. You have to watch yourself like a snake would, right? The snake takes its time before it observes everything about its prey. Like it looks at its movements, everything. And I think that you have to have an unbiasedness about yourself and really watch yourself. And it's ugly probably because, past traumas or your upbringing or things you may have adopted, are there, and you can't deny it. And I think it's dope though once you do that, because that's the real, you have a persona, but other real people gonna say, oh no, you ain't really that guy or that girl. Yeah.
And it's something about too, like when you can bring that authenticity, even if it's not somebody else's truth,
right,
they can still see it as truth.
Yes, yeah, because it's an energy, right? I think there's an energy that you can't deny, right? It's an energy when someone walks in a room, or I think energy is universal. Body language is universal. You may talk a different language, but if you see certain animals and dogs, you can kind of tell, or a cat, you can kind of tell universally, like if they're ready to attack, if they're comfortable. Right. And I think it's the same. It's just as humans. Yeah. So
now I gotta know, like, did you just like, did you come into the world and you were like, I got this thing figured out? And I know it ain't that easy, right? But as far as that perspective, right? I mean, because I think that so much what I've learned about the industry and about just the profession of being an actor is about perspective and about mindset. You know what I mean? Especially if you're gonna keep going, you know, and like ride whatever wave is given to you, or like carve out whatever career you want. It's a mindset thing. I wanna know about how you started. I wanna know about like where your mindset began, because I know you play sports.
Yeah.
Did that affect it? Did that go into it?
Yeah. Oddly enough, I was basketball was my world. Like most kids growing up in the South Side of Chicago, Jerod was our hero. So I imitated it. I would take wire hangers, put them in the door, roll up a ball of socks. That was my life, and I did pretty well, man. I was able to get a scholarship to college to play ball. But I must say, man, sports, if anybody's watching who plays sports, don't take those lessons for granted, because it teaches you something that I think this profession sometimes misses, which is teamwork and like serving. And I was a point guard, so my job was to get people the ball in positions where they could be successful. And so I kind of take that, because if you think about it, Charles, in this profession, besides theater still has a camaraderie to it, just why I love it. But sometimes TV and television, when you're in your trailer by yourself, away from your castmates, because you're prepping or whatever, and then you get on set and you just got to make it work. It can be difficult if you don't have that spirit of going into it, like, how can I serve this? So basketball, the things I've learned when it didn't work out, because I came out of college 2008-9, phone didn't ring. Was trying to play overseas, phone didn't ring, was depressed, and just trying to figure it out, because everybody knew me from basketball, and I thought it was going to be my thing. And I don't know, man, I just Googled acting or some shit, man. I was like depressed. I Googled that shit, and Rachel's, yo, this is crazy. Yo, I'd Google it, Acting Studio Chicago. If you Google acting classes right now, the first thing gonna pop up is Acting Studio Chicago. So whatever Rachel did, that thing pop up, right? I called her. She picked up. She probably don't remember this. She picked up, and I was asking how much the classes are, and she told me. And I was like, I don't really have that. I'm gonna go down there. I'm gonna go down there and charge her, right? I'm gonna go down. So look, I get there. Yeah. She was cool. She was really cool. But if you know Rachel, she's very
you know her video off, but she watching like that right now.
Yeah. But she is super dope. So we talked, and she may not remember this, but I asked about the classes, and then we came up with a barter system. Because in the studio, certain things, right? And instead of outsourcing it, I was like, yo, I'll do the work around the studio, the bubs, the trash, little stuff like that. And she was open to it. She was like, all right, cool. And I didn't tell my friends that I was doing this. This was just like on some whatever. And I took my first class. It was Jack Bronis's intro to acting, right?
And when was this again?
This was 2010.
Okay.
10 years ago. Wow, 10 years ago. Damn.
Happy decade. There you go.
Happy decade. Dope. Damn. Oh, this is divine. So damn, it's crazy. And so I do the class, and Jack Bronis, man, I promise you, yo, he low-key gave me confidence, because I wasn't thinking of this seriously. I just wasn't. It was just like I need something to take up my time so I don't go crazy. And he pulled me to the side. We did a couple scenes, and he would give us these evals, and he was just like, you got great instincts, And I was like, what great instincts? Like, man, you got some good instincts. But even though it didn't sound like much, it was a lot, because I was like, instincts. And I know in basketball, you got to have great instincts. So I was like, man, that's interesting. So I took another class, and I ended up bumping into, it was two teachers after that, Adrian Curry, who I must admit, she she said something that made me want to get better. Like, it was like, because in her class, you have had to audition, you have had to have, you know, say language and not bump into furniture, you know, stuff like that. Like, you know, like you can't, you know, and so
Walk and chew gum.
yeah, you gotta be able to do it. And so, but she pulled me to the side one day after class, which she didn't have to do, man.
Uh-huh.
And she just gave me some words, and depending on who you are, you could have took it the wrong way. But in that moment, she reminded me of a basketball coach that I had who would push me that way. And the advice she gave made me secretly work on this thing, right? These things, and repetition. Repetition is another one, repetition. And yeah, and then Doug McDade came into my life. And then Doug McDade, which is the on-camera class. Doug actually got me my first agent there, here in Chicago, Grossman.
Who was that? Grossman. Okay.
Grossman Jack. Doug, actually it was for To Kill a Mockingbird, the play in 2012 at Milwaukee Rep, bro. No lie. At the time, it was a lady named Jess who was agent over Jess, yeah. And so,
Jones, right?
Jess Jones, yep. And so,
yes. So little thing, because we connected on a couple of things.
Yeah.
I played Tom Robson, and we did a production of To Kill a Mockingbird. I played Tom Robson, and Jess Jones was actually my first agent in Chicago.
See what I'm saying? This is all divine, bro.
World,
Jess was real. Jess. So Doug, like, yo, they're doing To Kill a Mockingbird in Milwaukee Rep. He was like, man, you don't have, actually, no, let me backtrack, sorry. A friend of mine, James Alfred, he hit me and was like, yo, they doing To Kill a Mockingbird, you probably be dope for it. I'm like, man, I don't really have any credits. Because all I had done at this time is a play at ETA called The Contribution. And it was like my first play. Phyllis Griffin from DePaul, voice coach, she was my director. I do the play, and she was like, man, you should, you know, I don't even know why she hired me, one, because my audition was horrible. But she hired me, you know, and at this time, I told Doug about To Kill a Mockingbird. We pre-taped, because they already had auditioned. I missed the first wave. He was like, make the tape and we'll send it. So we make the tape. I send it to Jess. Jess loves it. This before she repped me. She was like, I got you. She sent it to Claire Simon, and Claire calls me in. She's like, yo, come through. So I go through, direct the session. I do the thing, and he was like, can you get to Milwaukee to do it in front of our AD? And I was like, yeah, sure. I try to find a couple dollars, hop on the Metro, Amtrak. Boom, I get there. I do it. Yo, I leave like, it was whatever, you know. They were like, yeah, we're going to pass your resume around. Thank you for coming. Yeah. They called me that Saturday and was like, you got it. Don't tell nobody yet, but you in. Yo, I fell on my knees and was like, thank you, God. Now, mind you, I'm still at acting studio taking classes. I'm not at I didn't come from the Yales and none of that. But I'm reading like crazy. Ask Rachel, I would raid their library. That library they got in where the teachers be, I would raid it. She wouldn't know, but I would sneak into the office and I'll be like, I can bring it back. You forget it, right? I'm sorry, but I brought it back though. I brought the books back, but I was still all this information. Yeah. I'd be at night just reading.
Sponge it up,
man, as much as I can, because I figured if you're in school, I would Google like what books are people read, all that type of stuff. So Google's your best friend if you use it right. And so anyway, through Milwaukee Rep, bro, Doug McDade again came through for me. He hits me up and says, you serious about training? You should do some more training. I'm like, where? He was like, it's a program called BADA, British American Drama Academy. I was like, when did I audition? He's like, next week. I was like, what? All right, bet, cool. What do I need to do? You have to learn a Shakespeare monologue. And it's just, contemporary. I was like, Shakespeare? I don't know shit about Shakespeare, dude.
Yeah.
I promise you, bro, God must have been looking out for your boy. My castmate who was in To Kill a Mockingbird with me, James DeVita, it's like a Shakespeare guru. He's like Mark Rylance over here or something, And I tell him, he's like, we'll practice. He's like, we're gonna pick a monologue and we'll practice before the show and after the show for a week straight. You gonna get it. And lo and behold, man, I took the train up to Northwestern, auditioned. Ian and those guys over at Bada, they saw something and I got in. And I'm in there now I'm in there with kids from Yale and the Juilliards and DePaul.
Right.
And it was a summer intensive, and that's when Rachel came through for me and they helped me raise the funds. Acting Studio helped me raise the funds so I can get over there. I had like a partial scholarship, but they helped me raise the funds here. So Rachel and them guys, that's my home. So I went down there for the summer. It was a summer intensive. And it just made me raise my game even more because I was kind of jealous of guys who had a chance to live this for most of the year. And so I took it a little bit more serious than those who already are privy to that. Came back to Chicago, dude, and my sleeping was already off. My days were backwards. So while people sleep, I couldn't sleep. So I'm probably up the most of the night to the morning reciting Shakespeare and shit like that. Because all I know is that repetition, working the muscle and things like that. So
that's that sports. That's that point guard.
That's all I knew. So then PJ Paparelli, rest his soul, man. I just got back and Erica Daniels hit me first. She hit me first and said, we got an understudy gig for you at Steppenwolf for the March. So I do that, which was a blessing because I got to see these guys who have a certain pedigree, work ethic up close. The Jan Barfords, Stephen Lewis Grush, Kerry Coon, you know what I mean? Like the heavies. Martha, rest her soul. She even pulled me to the side and would give me love, just like little gems and stuff like that. So then after that, PJ Paparelli, I auditioned for a show called Columbinus. And PJ, I don't know, he saw something in me and wanted me to do it, but I couldn't do it at the time. And then right after that, because the pay, man, I got a daughter, man. I was like, PJ, I can't, shit, man. If I'm fresh out of school, yeah, but you want me to go sell drugs or something. I can't take this. I can't take this, man. You know what I'm saying? I just can't. That's gas money coming from the south side to the north side. And so he was really trying to work with me, but then I ended up getting this video game called Watch Dogs or something, which came through at a good time. And then, but God, had you joined SAG-AFTRA at this point already, or? No, man. Yo, they looked out for me so crazy at Milwaukee Red, bro. They just looked out for you, boy. And I hadn't joined yet, but after this show, I had to. Because PJ, what happened was I couldn't do the show, but the guy that they got it, man, he had suffered an injury. And so they was like, yo, we just need you to do the opening. And I'm like, how long I got to prep? A week. And I'm like,
sleepless nights, repetition.
Dude, it was like 3, and I couldn't have done it without the help of that cast. Kelly O'Sullivan, Tyler, they would sit there and drill with me. Just to get, as long as I got the language down, then I can add the nuance, whatever later. But PJ Paparelli, man, rest his soul, because that dude, he pushed me too. He pushed me, man. He pushed me. And then we did Columbine, and I think that's what helped me land a foot as well. And then Ron came through, OJ, my homie. He my big dog right there.
Man, y'all did some good work together, bro.
Yeah, my big dog right there. Hold on. That's
Oh,
great.
that's when I first saw you act. I was like,
Yeah.
because most of the time I'm that actor. I'm that actor
Yeah.
where just like
Yeah.
if I audition for something and I don't get it, I'd be like, what choices you in here making?
Everybody do that.
Bro, I watched you as Walter the Younger, and I was like,
Look,
okay,
no, man. I don't
that's
even
him.
look. I don't even know. I swear, Ron must have saw something, man, because my audition was crazy, bro. I think Tony Martin was my scene partner in the audition. I did some wild, bro. I think too. You just got to make wild choices. Not wild. It has to be pertaining to the script, but take risks. I think
Take a risk.
I think I went there in my boxers or something, and I did some shit. Because we're supposed to be living in our dwelling, so I was like, I'm gonna live in my dwelling.
So I gotta ask you.
Yeah.
You know, you shared that you let me shout out like to just going up to Rachel and just being like, yo, how can we make that work? How can we make this work? Because that's one of those mindsets of just like, this is what I want.
Yeah.
No barriers. You know what I'm saying? I got to figure it out. So shout out for that. But Rachel saw something in you.
Yeah.
All of your instructors saw something in you. You know, the British training school, they saw something in you. Your cast, they saw something in you. And I know you probably, because like you said, once you're in it, you're moment to moment, you can't see it. Yeah. Outside of it now, you know, you've been in the game for some time. What is it? What was it that people saw? And outside of coming in, you know, in your boxers.
Right.
If you had to like give it a log line, what would it be?
I think it's just about don't try to be perfect. Like, I think that's where we mess up. I just had a conversation with a friend about this. I was like, yo, you right there, but you're trying to be perfect, and there's nobody that exists that way. Even Jesus himself turned over the tables. Like, nobody's perfect. And I think I don't even effort, man. Even if it's no such thing as a wrong choice, it's just effective and ineffective, right? So it's just effort, G. It's just effort. At the end of the day, it's how you win. Who put in effort? Because even if you don't get the role, you put in some effort. Effort meaning like, yeah, it just wasn't for me. It wasn't nothing.
Effort.
I did my thing. I exhausted all resources. That's what it is. Everything that has glory to God. Everything that has happened has been because of effort. I could have said the 375 or 275, which is well worth it. I could have said, well, I don't have the money and I'm good.
Right.
I'm straight. But my pops be hitting me with never go to take, go to give, right? So if my palm is open, I can give and receive, right? And I think that's how I live my life. I'm a giver. So I went in there and saying, yo, I can do this, you know, and you giving. That's what we do as actors. We really giving, you know, you giving to your scene partner, you giving to the world a glimpse of whatever. And I think that's it. It's just effort and giving. I mean, that's what life is about, really. Those are the people I think we admire, even if they give up their lives. They gave something, you know. Effort and giving. I think he gonna give his effort, whether you like it or not. He gave it effort. You know, it's just effort, man. At the end of the day, I don't think it should be complicated. I don't think it should be something like Isaac Newton. You know, just give effort. You know, they already did the thinking. There's so many blueprints out here. You know, pick one.
Right. Look, now you just gave me the next jumping off point. And I'll catch us up a little bit. So we left off, you know, was the last play that you said you did, you know, working with Ron O.J. You did Native Son.
Yeah.
With Nambi over at Court.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah, those
when
came
did
right. Those came back to back to back, Chalk.
you were on fire, man.
I don't even know.
Remember.
Yeah, I don't even remember that. It was just like, and I was like,
You were
damn,
on fire, man.
damn.
And I was so excited to see it because it was just like, yo, go.
Well, we
and
talked
like,
together. We were teaching together.
yeah, we were.
Great thing. Remember, we was over at what was it Roberson? Where was we at? Inglewood. Yeah, we were
over at it was at Inglewood.
Inglewood.
Team Inglewood.
Yeah, man, you was teaching over there, and that's when I heard you speak, just like in your teaching, and I was like, hey, this dude don't want to teach too, like just hearing you, you know, you were patient, you had a calmness that I was like, I like that, man. So I like that. I was like, this dude probably been here before.
Look, I don't even want to get on me and my teaching. I want to stay on you. Don't try to move around. Look, so speaking of the teaching and the patience, I got a scene from a film that you wrote, co-wrote, co-produced, and acted in, which is not an easy feat, right? This is a feature film called Blueprint. And I want to play this clip because it talks kind of about that concept around teaching and patience. And then I want to talk a little bit about the film when we come back from watching that clip. Okay.
Cool.
All right. Now this is my first time doing this, y'all, in this webinar, so bear with me if it don't go right. I'm gonna share my screen. Minimize it.
Okay, yeah. Okay, dope.
I'm a basketball player and a beater and
You know how to play drums? You can show me a sample?
okay.
Let me see what you got. Let's see what he got. Show me, let me see. What you got? Show out for me.
Do the kind.
Hey. Who can rap? Who gonna rap? Okay, flow for me.
All right. You know my name, Dope Trey, and I don't really play. Yeah, I hit up 2K, and all I do is like.
Hey, that's what's up. So what we talk about today? Fears. And if we want something in life,
You gotta work hard.
you gotta work hard, right? All right. Now repeat after me. I am strong.
I am strong.
I am beautiful.
I am beautiful.
I'm smart.
I am smart.
I am brilliant.
I am brilliant.
I am patient.
I am patient.
And I am loved.
And I am loved.
That's what I'm talking about. Dab on them one time. 1, 2, 3. Ah, that's what I'm talking about. Yeah.
Wow, man.
I absolutely love that scene.
Man.
You know, so for you all who haven't seen Blueprint, you gotta like. I'm not gonna be in teacher mode, but I'm gonna be in teacher mode. I'm gonna give you some homework. Go watch it. It is a beautiful film that, from what I can get, right, that explores Black male masculinity. Yeah. It explores coping. It explores police brutality against Black bodies. And it explores relationships. It touches on everything, man. And you were able to, as an actor, to be able to just go in and give an honest performance in every single scene, whether it was lighthearted and fun like that, and then I got another scene we'll watch a little bit later. Like, just give your honest self. So shout out for that, man, and shout out for, as a writer, writing a story and giving a multifaceted performance of being a Black man. Wow. You know?
Yeah. Dude, first, man, damn, I need to go back and check it. It was the kids, dude. That's crazy because they improv that whole thing. The kids, look, I said, yo, look, because we had something. I was like, we did that. Not let's just play. I said, just listen, guys. Listen to what I'm saying and respond honestly. So him playing was what he do. I was like, oh, you know how to play? Play. He The kid, I say, who can rap? Sure. Kids, you learn so much from kids. Our problem is, as adults, because the world is like, has censored us, right? They have this fearlessness, man. My daughter does it. She'll like hurt herself and then she's good 5 minutes later. But I stub my toe, my whole day messed up. You know, you know what I'm saying? But kids, man, and that kid stood up, he was like, yo, I got it. And I was like, wow, they taught me some shit. I was, whoa, you know, and so and that went for everybody that was a part of the story. FYI, for those that's watching, the people that we only had 3 or 4 real actors, myself, Ty Davis, Shanasia Davis, damn, I'm forgetting somebody.
Edgar was in there.
Edgar, my boy Edgar. How the hell I forget Edgar? Edgar and everybody else were friends and family. Like those kids were really a part of this daycare. Wow. And everybody else were like friends I knew growing up, you know. And I really quick, because I got to do this. One of them who was in the film, he ended up being a victim to gun violence. Like a month after we wrapped, Curtis Pope, he's in the film. And
I'm sorry for that.
Yeah. We were shooting in the trenches. We down 79th in Ashland. We going up. One time, I got to say this real quick. My boy Jerod Wyatt, who was the director, co-writer, and producer, I remember he's filming me out the car. We doing this road. We try to get it in. And some guys I knew from the area was like, hey, Rod, this white boy got a camera on you, man. You know that? I said, no, he good. He with me. He with me, bro. He's like, oh, okay, just checking, bro. Just checking. But that's what we did, man. And yeah, so.
I think, though, that even the neighborhood having your back, your family and friends being able to come through and like give it, right, performances. Again, y'all, check the film out. I think it speaks a lot to the trust that you were able to instill in them, and also the vision that you had for the film. Wow. Because nobody wants to come onto a project and it's like, nah, I'm cool, bro. I'll pass on that one, right? Yeah. How did you come up with that vision? Because at this point, you've done some theater. You transition away. You're not away from theater, but like you transition into doing some voiceover through Watch Dogs. You've been doing some, like you had booked Empire at this point. You had booked Med and a couple of all the Chicago shows that you could.
Yep.
How did you know you were going to write something and a feature film at that? Like that's a big thing.
It wasn't going to be a feature at first. It wasn't intended to be a feature. Again, my friend who directed it, Jerod Wyatt, he called me. I think this is right after was it Castillo? He called me. I was right in front of Grossman Jack. I never forget, about to do a voiceover audition. He says, man, how you feel about what's going on? I was like, man, I don't really want to talk. And then after an hour passed of talking, he was like, what do you want to do? I said, I want to do something about it, but I don't know what I would do. He's like, think on it, man. Let's team up. And I thought about it and I was like, nah, this is too much, man. I don't know. I don't know. And then it hit me. A friend of mine had got killed, Marvin Lee, rest his soul. He was another victim of gun violence. And so I knew Marvin because we grew up together. And I said, hey, let's just orchestrate this around what led up to my boy Marvin's demise. And I said, let's explore the what happens after you lose someone. Right? We never explore the traumatic residual of like being left with that. Like you always see, but you always see everything else is leading up to something, right? It's like, oh, boom, and then they'll give you a little bit of the resolve. But we want to show how does somebody deal with those same skills that I wanted to instill in the children. He lost once trauma hit him. He forgot those same principles and those teaching points that he was trying to, you know, learn the kids. And you see this dude trying to cope, and he resorts to different vices, and all of his faculties just seem to just like not be of any use.
Yeah.
And but yeah, that's really how that came about. It was just that at that time, remember at the time, it's funny, not even funny, but the
ironic.
The ironic and the effed up thing about it is that was three years ago, and now it's still happening, and it's like increased, which is weird. You know,
so weird, man. It's the title is Blueprint, y'all. Actually, here.
Amazon Prime. Yep.
Amazon Prime. Check it out. I just dropped the link in the chat for everybody. Oh, that goes to all panelists. Let me send that to everybody. Let me send it one more time, y'all. Check that out, Blueprint. It's absolutely amazing. I want to show one more scene from it, and so let me share my screen again, y'all. And this is a little bit about what you were talking about, how he loses those faculties and just falls back into, you know, what a lot of us have to deal with.
Yep.
Cycles of trauma, you know.
Yeah.
Give me one sec. I'm gonna cue it up so that way when we switch over, it's all ready to go.
Okay.
I'm gonna let you take it back because I'm fighting for this. And
There's a motherfucker that got my back. A motherfucker that got my back. They not searching for shit. You know what they doing? They searching how to make me fucking better. They not looking for shit they not looking for shit to add chinks to my motherfucking armor.
You added chinks to your armor.
I ain't adding shit.
You own up to
You know
your
why I went to
own-
another bitch? You know why I went to another bitch?
Tell me.
You wanna know
I'm all
why?
ears.
Because that bitch listen.
Because that bitch.
You don't listen.
I don't listen.
You don't listen.
I don't.
You don't listen.
Bitch.
I
Get the fucking
Chill.
off of me.
Listen
Get
to
off
me.
of I'm out.
Listen to me.
No.
Listen
Call
to me.
Trina. Let
you
that
wildin' right
bitch
now.
raise your kids.
Listen.
Don't talk
See,
to me like
what you mean? Let her raise my. I'm good by my fucking self. You know, these motherfuckers on my ass every day. I gotta put on a fucking costume every fucking day with these niggas. Is you for real? Let me school you on some shit. When I walk out the fucking door, I not only gotta watch my back, but I gotta learn how to fuck a fucking procedure. So I don't get not just blown away by niggas that look like me, but niggas that's supposed to protect me. You worry about a broad? My man ain't thinking about that. When I wake up, my job is to take care of my family. Not only take care of my family, I gotta be a man. A man, but I'm figuring this shit on my own. That's not a blueprint. That's no fucking a role guy for me.
The conversations you need to be having are here. You talking about people having your back. You talking about people taking care of you. You talking about your worries and your fears. Lay those here. What have I asked you for from day one?
Man, I ain't.
Now you're not gonna do it?
Because
you don't like to be held. Because you don't like to be held accountable for the shit that you do. Ever. Because that's why we're here. You have no accountability.
How? I ain't got no accountability.
Zero.
I just told you I made a fucking bad decision.
Because you admit to making a mistake.
Is that not accountability? What the fuck is it?
It's not me.
Are you fucking for real right now?
It ain't me.
Well, if I'm not what you need, fucking leave.
For all means.
How about that? Fucking leave. I figure it out like I always been doing. And I find somebody else to have my back.
Sheesh. God damn. Man. Damn. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he lost it, man. He was.
Wow.
His aggression, he just lost it. It's a contrast to the dude we saw before the trauma.
Yeah.
And that's how many of us are walking around like the second guy.
Yeah.
You know?
How, you know, not to get into your personal or anything like that, but how do you tap into that? Like how, as an actor, because we're, you know, if we get a scene that's like that, we got to go. You know, Marriage Story, it just cleaned up because of it.
Yeah.
And this is that.
Yeah, man. I told, you know, as I said earlier, this profession has made me see a lot of things in myself I never wanted to see, and unresolved issues. and shout out to Todd Davis, who she's amazing. She's just something else. But we put a little bit of what you put templates of what you're going through at the moment, and you put them in your work. I don't care what you play, your job is to find a commonality, right? So whatever objective you're using, you got to find those commonalities and be okay with it. And for something like that, I was really trying to go after something, which was to love me as who I am, right? I just need you to take me for who I am, because I don't even know who I am right now. I don't even know. Maybe you can help me. And yeah, I may have done this thing, but I did it. He couldn't articulate it at the time. He was stifled. That's why he everything was like, he couldn't get the words out. And that's all. And if he can't get the words out, but you understand him a little bit, imagine how many of us are walking around who can't articulate that shit at all. Violence is about to happen. It has to, because it has to come out. And it's parallel to a kid who is have a hearing impaired, because if they don't know sign language yet, you would take their expressions as anger, but it's really, I just don't have the words. And even more, the mind fuck even more is that I know you don't understand me.
Right.
So that adds another level of anxiety and frustration. And I think that's what that character, damn. Yeah.
Yeah.
Character.
Yeah, you did your thing. You definitely did your thing. So that's Blueprint.
Yeah.
Written, produced, acted.
Yeah.
Shout out, because now it's on Amazon. So you've
Amazon.
homegrown, you know what I'm saying? I say it all the time, and I posted it on, when I do post on social media, hashtag not asking for permission. That's the prime example of that, man. Prime example of saying, like, I'm an artist, I'm an actor as well, so I'm gonna create an opportunity for myself as an actor, but then also I'm gonna create an opportunity to say something that's important to me and that's important to whatever culture that I belong to. So huge shout out for that.
Yeah.
It after watching that, literally it makes perfect sense that you've continued on to have all the success that you're continuing to have. Native Son, you know, now on HBO.
Yeah.
Hey, what was that like? And just so you know, we got 5 minutes left. You got some time?
Yeah, for sure. Because I remember I did the play, and I played bigger for a while, but then shout out to Rashid Johnson, who was the director, and Bow and Arrow Productions. And Rashid, I talked to Rashid about this, and he was like, dude, I ain't gonna lie to you, we already have our bigger. And it's Ashton. I said, well, I ain't gonna argue with that. Ashton Sanders gonna kill it, He said, but I have a role for you. I was like, what's that? He's like, Gus. And yeah, man, I was able to be a part of something that I hold close to my heart. I mean, Native Son, the play opened up so many doors for me. Shout out to Nambi Kelly, Court Theater, Surrett, and my whole squad, and Yale, and everywhere else we did it. Yeah. So, yeah, man, it was dope. Yeah.
Somebody just dropped a question in the chat. And feel free, y'all, I want to make sure that I get a chance to answer a couple of questions from folks. That's why I want to make sure you can stick around a little bit.
I got time for sure.
Cool, great. Somebody just wrote, yes, that's Chai back there. She's next in the business. So she back here taking notes.
I see.
I can take it. Somebody just asked the question of, how did you get your role as Agent Banks on Project Blue Book? And if he had any input into the character.
Yeah. Actually, they hit me up about it. I did the show called The Village, and like 2 months after that, I got a call from my people saying, yo, look at this role, Agent Banks. And I looked at it. I had never seen the show, and I'm like, but I love UFOs. I'm like a conspiracy dude anyway. So like I'm like Area 51. I'm like, count me in. And when it came to the role, I did. Shout out to Sean Jablonski, the producer on the show. He allowed me to add some things. So I gained some weight. I tried to make him seem, I don't want to give too much away because there's a twist in it. I wanted to make him seem like ill-equipped in a sense, and that, yeah, he's smart, but he's probably just a good guy. And at the end of the day, he's different. And so I would add little stuff to it. And Charles, I'm gonna mess you up, bro. I told him I don't want to see the scripts to the episodes until like 2 or 3 days before, because I didn't want to try to play what was to come subconsciously, trying to do little trickery or something. I just want to keep it honest, because if I can fool myself, I'll probably able to fool the audience. So yeah, because there's a twist in it that happens. It's pretty crazy. But yeah, so yeah, shout out to Blue Book. That's on Amazon right now too. Check that out. Yeah.
Moment to moment work. Somebody, Monique Horton asked, speaking about your previous point about not being perfect, how much of that is from script versus improv? And I'm thinking that is in relation to the clip that we watched.
Yeah, a lot of it was improv, and that's where the journaling comes in. If you do your inner work and you go off cuff, majority of the script low key is improv. You just give them the dialogue and you give them the gist of it, and then you do your magic. But that's from journaling and stuff like that, which I think is important, because sometimes you will go off script because you just in a certain zone where you listening. And I don't mean just listening here, but their body language, their smell, any little thing, and you just riff like music, like jazz or some shit.
Yeah, just use it all.
Just use it. It's there. Yeah.
Somebody else asked, where would a Black teen actors search for auditions? It seems as there is not many opportunities in Chicago for Black youth. And I would say, y'all, if you are a teenager, if you're Black, or whoever you are in Chicago, I would say take a lesson from Jerod in his just like Googling it and doing your due diligence. One, because if you can walk into a room and be like, oh, how'd you find this? Oh, I decided and I did it. But then also for yourself, there's a certain level of self-gratification that comes along with it, right? That like I think it helps with like imposter syndrome. Like you never have to think like, how did I get here? It's like, I know how I got here. Yeah. There's tons of theater companies that you can get involved with. Everything is kind of on hiatus right now. So I would say for right now, anybody that is watching this and you're interested in getting in the business and breaking into the business, focus on yourself right now. Focus on sign up for a class, go out and actually like watch a whole bunch of films. Just really do your work.
Yo, Charles, I was just about to say, bro, this is why you cold-blooded. Listen, you don't jump the gun about auditions, man. Like it's a long road, because the truth of the matter is the best roles probably won't come until we older, but because they're more complex. But I would say I would spend this time, like he said, working on yourself. You're 15, that's pretty young. Be a kid and take classes, acting studio, sign up for classes so you learn the craft. Don't search to be movie star. Search to be good at the craft, because when you do that, I think certain things just happen. Maybe not fast, but certain things that happen. But if you're just looking to getting famous, just go on YouTube and make a video. Yeah.
YouTube it out.
YouTube it out, man. But other than that, sign up right now, Acting Studio Chicago, because they're doing Charles, what's happening right now? They're doing it's virtual classes right now. So sign up for classes.
Everything.
This time you ain't doing nothing.
Right. Use your time. Somebody else said, anonymous attendee said, what skills and things are a must to be an actor? And give me like 2 or 3, just right off the dome.
Communication skills. That's in any profession. I think you become more of an asset, which I learned from Adrian Curry. Communication, one. Read, man. I don't know. I think reading is huge. I don't know if that's a skill, but I think it helps your perspective of the world, sharpening your mind. And then communication, and take classes, man. Just take classes. Try to learn the craft, like seriously. But I know communication is like the biggest one. And I don't mean just verbally, your body. So work on your body, stretching, things like that. Learn how to communicate without speaking sometimes, trust. Yeah.
Now you that's perfect. You said that you read a whole bunch of books, and David Barlow asked what some of the books that you read at the acting studio. They was gonna ask it, man. You did that.
One of them I just peeked at yesterday is Actioning. That book I took from Rachel. I took like 2 of them because I lost one. Yeah, so I got to pay you, Rachel, for one of them. And then I would read a lot of the Shakespeare books. She had a big book. It was like a Bible.
Uh-oh. Hold on a second. I think you're frozen. Give us 1 sec, y'all. Thanks everybody for all the questions. I'm gonna try to get through as many as I can. I know we're already over time. So, as soon as Jerod comes back, we'll try to tackle a couple more. We'll probably stay around for maybe another 10 minutes, and then we'll wrap on up. Let me see if it's any that I can. Oh. Well, I'll see if it's any that I can answer for you all. I do see Chai back there now that my video just popped back up. These are some really, really great answers, y'all. I think what I'm gonna do is I am going to highlight all of these questions because I do wanna make sure that we can figure out some type of a way to get them answered. I'm gonna copy all of those. I'm gonna drop them in a note. And then what I'll see is, Rachel, you might be mad at me for offering this up, but I'm gonna see if we can drop some of these answers into a follow-up email that you all have, that you all are gonna receive. I'm gonna give Jerod a couple more seconds before, and if not, I think we might just have to go ahead and log off. Thank y'all for the folks that are sticking around. Chai, come here. This is Chai, everybody. Just wanted to come and say hello. All right, good girl. All great questions, y'all. All the questions are coming in. You all are typing too fast. Oh, there we go.
There we go.
Welcome back.
My bad. I think it knocked me off my internet. Yeah, I got
look,
it.
Man, look, Chai almost stole the scene, man.
What happened? What's going on?
They saw Chai back there, and she came in. Look, she was.
My bad, y'all. My bad.
Don't throw her away from doing some tricks. So let's take a couple more questions. All right.
Yeah.
Let me see. Where's my screen at? There we go. All right.
No doubt, Samantha. How do
you learn script? Somebody said, how to learn the art of learning script?
Oh wow. I think the basic one is just you just read it a million times, and I know it's excessive, but the more you read it, I think you'll comprehend it, and then it just depends on what, you know, like we got the 12 guidepost acting studio. There's different things you can use. So it just depends on what, that's why it's important to take classes and learn, learn a way of working. You have to learn it. And that's a long conversation because there's different ways to do it. But I would say, study, like get these certain books. Stella Alla has one. I'm using one right now called Power of the Actor by Ivana Chubbuck. It's pretty dope. And then you can pair that with the 12 guideposts. So it's so many different ways. So many different. Yeah.
It's a couple of folks that's asking for like more books and like career steps and stuff like that. I would say, y'all, everybody that's on this webinar, use and abuse the website. Like any resource that's available to you, use it and exhaust it. And there's, under the resource tab on our website, there's blogs that you can read about being an actor. There's resources specifically in Chicago about being, you know, that's helpful for being an actor, around agents, around headshots, around, you know, just really everything. And use that as a jumping off point for some of these questions, like what are my next steps, and like, you know, career specific things.
Yeah.
Somebody asked, and I really want to tackle this because this is one that I don't necessarily have the answer to yet. So I want to get your take on it. Alicia Rotman said, how can I be a better ally to performers of color?
Oh man, that's a great question.
Because that's where we're at right now.
I think just that question alone, and it doesn't have to be a spectacle. Just pull people to the side and ask. Especially, it depends on what position you're in too. You know, are you working in a place where you can help hire more persons of color? Or are you asking in a work setting where you're working together? It just depends. I just be open at the end of the day. Be open and be comfortable being uncomfortable in conversations. That's all. That's really it. And I'm gonna say this, and it's may get some backlash, but I think all parties involved have to be uncomfortable. Have to be comfortable being uncomfortable, which means allow grace in dialogue, because we're all ignorant to something. So let's have a little bit more grace before we start to press the button. Because we all intelligent enough, and those who aren't won't be here long in certain arenas. So just be open and allow grace. And I think that's with anybody, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody asked, I think a great work-life, you know, balance question. How are you able to balance your regular work life? You know, I think at this point you're full-time. But when you were starting out, how'd you find that balance? Especially as being a father of a young daughter, how did you find the balance of being able to prep the way that you do and really come in and be ready to crush it and still be involved?
My circle, my mom, for sure. Like I said, it's me, my mom, and my daughter. So, and then on the weekend, she goes to see her other grandmother. So I got a great support system. Eventually, I ended up having to commit to something, which was I was able to commit because it was fruitful. But I think they both coincide. I don't think you can do one without the other. I think the personal fuels the work. For me, at least, the personal fuels the work. So whatever I'm going through at that time, whether it's tough or not, I got to deal with, and then use that in the work. Again, it sounds crazy, but I think as you go this way in personal life, hopefully you go this way.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can be shaky here, but then you're only going to do half good work. because you're not fully invested here. Somebody told me, again, I keep sharing this, that the best work you can do is really on yourself. That's the work. I think that's the quote. You have to work harder on yourself than you do your job.
On the flip side of that, somebody asked, Jason Ensler asked, when you're watching yourself like a snake, you know Jason?
Jason's big time director. He actually directed me in my first pilot that didn't go to series called Redliners. And then he directed Fox's I don't know if it was Lucifer, but he does a lot of great work, man. So shout out to Jason Ensler, man. Cool dude. And his love for music, Charles, is crazy. Yeah, shout out to Jason. But go ahead.
So he about to come through with a question for you, okay? And we might maybe I will do this one, and then I don't really like to apologize. I like to, folks who's taking my classes, I try to live a life of no apologies. Yeah. But my bad for the folks that we don't get to. But he asked, when you watch yourself like a snake and you see things you don't like, do you work on them? Do you work them out, or do you keep them yours and use them in your acting?
I work on them, but because I know I can see it, I can use it. So it's like I think if I don't work on it, I'll end up like the self-destructing, right? So it's like I try my best to work on them, but because it's noted, I know it's in the arsenal, you can use it. So I think that's a great question. Yeah.
That's a great question. Because just personally, when I saw that, I was like, because I like, for real, I've had conversations with Carmen, my wife, and I'm just like, I don't know what to do. Like I'm growing as a man, I'm growing as a person, and I'm realizing some traumas and some.
I give you an example real quick. When I was doing Native Son, bro, the play, and Bigger is this visceral and way he, and I was reading a book called Spirit of Leadership by Dr. Miles Monroe at the time. And he was breaking down these ways to grow in leadership. And every time I discovered something, I was like, I'm liking that. I was like, oh, Bigger's liking that too, then shit. I would, and you can use that. So in certain scenes, you'll know in dialogue now, because now it's more crystal clear. It's like, oh, that's why I say you cannot be afraid to be yourself. I'm like, oh, I have this issue. I know what this is. It's like therapy. It's like when you go to therapy and she tells you, you do this. You're like, oh, that's all right. Yeah. That's all it is.
I'm gonna ask you one more question, man, and then I'm gonna let you go, and I'm gonna let all of my participants who have stuck around with us.
Yeah.
The pandemic, I know from just the work that you've created and just talking with you, man. I don't know your religion, right? But I know your spirituality, and I know your faith. And I know, it even made it into the film, right? Mark, I wrote it down so I wouldn't mess it up. Mark 4:39 says, peace be still. And I feel like this moment in time, the world is telling us, peace be still.
Get it right on the head, man.
In your stillness, in this moment, what are you hoping that will come from? Like, what are you hoping will come from this stillness? What are you hoping that when the world starts back, that you're going to be like, yep, this growth happened, or this reflection happened, or this new habit happened? Like, what's that thing for you?
That I shed. We all have things that we know we need to release, whatever they are. I'm really praying that I leave my boyish ways behind, and that I come out of this and I don't even recognize myself, and that I grow into that person. So to become fearless, to walk more into the unknown. So in this stillness, I'm shedding and I'm purging, and it's painful as fuck, but it is so necessary, because you'll help not just yourself, but the people that love you as well, that surround you. And then I think we can better serve the work in whatever profession, and you can do it fully. And I think the world, those who do that work, I think we become a step closer into where we were originally made to be. I think so. Hopefully, God willing. It's tough as hell. I ain't gonna lie to you. This is tough.
We got some time to think about it and reflect on it.
Yeah.
Yo, bro, it has been amazing catching up with you, man.
Oh, thank you. I'm humble, bro. Thank y'all for this.
Yeah.
Thank you. And shout out to everyone that tapped in with us tonight. Thank you, man. Thank you.
Like I said, everybody, I'm gonna try my best to capture some of these questions and thoughts that came through and see if we can add them into the email. I know it would be a lot of work for us to get that done, but I just want to make sure that everybody leaves with their questions answered.
Yeah, send it to me. Let's get it. I got you. I ain't got nothing to do.
All right, man.
Yeah. Thank you, man. And peace to everybody. Love y'all, man.
Yeah. All right. Take care.
Peace.